Arizona Cardinals just landed Josh Sweat.
Oh,
So the Philadelphia Eagles lose out essentially on Milton Williams and now Josh Sweat. Two departures from Philadelphia.
The Eagles now, though, have lost Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. Concern for them at all? Or are they deep enough to where you don't even have to worry about it that much?
Look, you know this is a football team that's always just very resourceful in the draft. And when you just look at their depth chart, and you still look at the fact that Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter will be the guys who start in the middle.
Yeah, man. NFL free agency has begun, and the attrition also has begun its course. We know that the Super Bowl winners and losers alike are, their rosters are picked clean, as well as the coaching staffs as well. We lost head coaching candidates in back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, with our defensive coordinators going to the Cardinals with Jonathan Gannon and the Colts and Shane Steichen in 2022, and this year with Kellen Moore going to the Saints, him being our former offensive coordinator. But, I mean, we were prepared for this, and I'm glad that Howie Roseman is just sitting on his thumbs and twiddling them, and, he's not making rash moves. He's not trying to spend the, moderate amount of cap that we have, because we're like in the bottom half, I want to say. Probably, I think, somewhere around 23rd to 25th or something like that. We have to be judicious. We shelled out a contract to re-sign Zach Bond, who, we placed a priority on. I'm glad we did, for the first time in ages, trying to hold on to a linebacker, and one of the best that we've seen in our, brief history under, Howie Roseman as GM. But, we were prepared for these, these losses, and, we didn't make moves because we knew that they were going to be too difficult to retain. And we're going to play most likely the comp pick game, pick up the compensatory picks the next offseason that's going to compensate us for the loss of these guys. So, Josh Sweat, he got a 4-year, $76.5 million deal, went to the Arizona Cardinals, and, we knew that, when he took a pay cut last season, I think $10 million deal, he wasn't going to shave his ears down another time, and he was most likely going to capitalize on that Super Bowl appearance where he had 2.5 sacks and was getting some of the MVP voting. But we prepared as far as having a guy that may not be his equal, but in Alex Hunt, who's pretty sizable, 6'4" guy, 250, and he's grown into his body as a safety, and as a former safety, and he's already one of our better edge rushers dropping into space, something that Josh Sweat isn't adept at. But shout out, kudos to Howie for getting the most out of that pick, a former 4th-round pick out of my alma mater, Florida State. Woo! Ran a 4.53 coming into the NFL. Had that pick, I would say 2 seasons ago, on Dak, and returned that for for a pick 6, for a touchdown. So athletic guy, but his knees aren't the greatest, and that kind of something, a bit of a concern. But him making the career that he's had out of what he's been dealt with so far, just tremendous. And then Milton Williams, he's a young guy. Surprised how we didn't get him locked up earlier, but only 25 years old, goes out and gets a $26 million per year, $4 million dollar contract, which is just insane. There's no way we're going to be able to match that. But Josh Sweat most likely will come back if he stays healthy with a 4th-round comp pick, and then Milton Williams, if he stays healthy, a 3rd rounder. So those will be 2 huge boons for us next year. But Milton Williams as well, Moro Jomo showed out, top 20 pass rush rating from the interior, and he is a rotational guy, but he might be willing and able to step up to be our 3rd D tackle off the bench. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter already there, and then Moro Jomo coming off. So I feel confident in having those guys behind them to step up and making us not have to press the issue and sacrifice the roster, the long-term health of it, to retain two guys. Well, had some great performances and very, very good players, aren't backbreakers, as far as how this team's built. So that I was more disappointed that we let some guys go that could have been depth / challenge for starting jobs. In the interim, a guy like Oren Burks, we let him go. We could have, these are the things I'm like, but how he has his vision, and as Philly 500 would tell you, and he sees things the way he does, and he's contemplating. He's not just sitting on his hands doing nothing with his time. He's meticulously planning how he wants free agency to play out for us, and who he's targeting in the second, third ways, getting those bargain deals. Because let's not forget, Zach Bond was a guy who came in, how he thought it might have been a rotational edge rusher, special teamer, and Vic Vander said, nah, let's try him out at linebacker, and lo and behold, we have a guy who had his all-pro season, coming in, into a new position, and just you can't, write a better story for those kind of, roster evaluations. And shout out to Vic, and then for Bond himself for putting in the work, but he was only $3.5 million, so. You try to, capture lightning in the bottle. Lightning isn't going to strike in the same place, but damn, can we make it strike close? But yeah, Oren Burks, 2 years, $5 million. That's only $2.5 million. Went to the Cincinnati Bengals, but might be, be able to get, play for a starting job. He would have only been temporary with him holding on the fort until Nakobe Dean comes back. But that's a key depth piece that, we didn't have last year. He forced us fumble in the wild card game against the Packers. And that was on special teams. So, a lot of these guys played crucial snaps. The other guy, Isaiah Rodgers, he only got I think $15 million, so I think maybe $7.5 million per year. And you're like, man, we could have brought him back for a certain role. For 3 years, I would have been willing to do $10 million, $30 million deal. But Eagles, I think maybe they wanted someone with maybe more size, but he covers just about as well as anybody on our roster, and he's a pretty damn good cover corner. So I'm just a little miffed why we didn't try harder to fight to keep him. But I'm sure down the line we'll maybe find out where things across wires got crossed and such. So Keely Ringo is going to be slated to take that spot as of right now, but we'll see. Because I don't think we want to displace Cooper DeJean. He played too well in the slot this year, and leaves a spot open. So you have Eli Ricks on the roster, but our depth right now, just going out now, we'd be fine at certain positions and be able to survive weather a storm. But Mekhi Becton hasn't been signed as of yet. So where does it where does he play out? Because he famously wants to come back as well. So we'll see and test that theory. But I'm trying to think. There's some other guys that I think we might have lost. So we traded for DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson. Let Kenny Pickett go to the Browns, where he has a chance to maybe start with Deshaun Watson being out for maybe the beginning of the year. So a guy who had some high hopes. Cleveland gave up on him after they gave him 2 starts. I think maybe 2 or 3 starts last year, and didn't like what they saw. But us being the quarterback factory that we want to be, we're trying to coach him up, and if we can get him to be serviceable, he has some traits. He's the most Hurts-like now on the roster, and he's got that model that I wanted. And actually, the Oregon quarterback coming out, I like him as well. So we'll see how things play out. But I think there's maybe a couple other guys I'm missing, but we didn't really make any moves. So we'll see how things go. But also, what I want to do is assess the power shift in the NFC. The powerhouses that have lost power and that gained some pieces. But it's been a pretty good mix of guys. The shifting of power. Displacement of power from one place to the other. And I would say the Washington Commanders are someone to watch out for. They are amassing some talent and trying to be to improve their roster at a precipitous rate. And I like a lot of the moves they made because they're trying to take advantage of the window they have their rookie quarterback being on a rookie deal. Let's go and look at the major deals and such. The teams that better themselves even though they may not be competitors or be super hyper competitive. Baron Browning, a guy that we might have been looking to sign at, was coached by Vic Fangio, re-signs with the Cardinals, 2 years, $15 million, and they signed Josh Sweat. We already went over that. Jake Matthews signed an extension, 2 years, $45 million, so nice for them. Ronnie Staley re-signs with the Baltimore Ravens, $20 million per year for 3 years. Josh Allen signs that huge extension, $330 million over 6 years. He gets his money. They retain also Greg Russo, 4 years, $20 million per. Shakir gets that $15 million. They signed a linebacker, 4 years, $50 million. And then they signed Josh Palmer to a $12 million per year deal for 3 years. And then the Carolina Panthers, a guy that we might have been looking at, but I mean, he was always going to be too expensive for our blood because we don't want to pay this and then shell out that later or more to Quinion, a couple years on the road. But 4 years, $100 million, $25 million per year. They're banking on him staying healthy because he had a Pro Bowl season, but up until now he hasn't been able to stay off the table. They also signed a safety, Trayvon Moore. So look at the Panthers. There might be an ascending talent, and Bryce Young played much better, especially going down the stretch last year. And we'll see if they're able to make some noise. But they got to get out of the NFC South, and beat the Bucks first. All right, the Chicago Bears loaded up. We'll see how they play. But Joe Tooney, they also traded for him. Jonah Jackson traded for him. It's from the Rams as well. But they signed a couple people. Dayo Odeyingbo, Grady Jackson, 3 years, $43.5 million. He gets like what, a little bit over $15 million per year. So they're trying to beef up their ranks, and they still have to make it out of the NFC North. So that's gonna be a struggle for them. Obviously, the franchise T. Higgins re-signed B.J. Hill, put on to Mike Gesicki, as well as Joseph Osai. And then they signed, a D-tackle. I can't even tell you who this is, but I know he's solid, though. And the Cleveland Browns re-signed Myles Garrett. He talked all that talk and then didn't go anywhere because the money's too good. All right, Dallas re-signed really their own. Marquise Bell, a good mid-level deal. And then sneaky good move, signing Javonte Williams, but he's not really the answer. He's just a cog. But it'll be interesting to see if they try to re-sign their starter from last year. I forget his name. But $20 million per year, still got to sign that boy Michael Parsons. And in Denver, they went out and signed Drake Greenlaw. He got it. It's money. He's got his money. And then his teammate joined them from the 49ers, Talanoa Hufanga. So we're going to play them next year. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. The Detroit Lions signed DJ Reed. So that's a good signing from the Jets. Almost 16 per year. That's a good corner, man. That's a good corner. That boy is solid. So it'll be interesting to see how Sauce fares in his absence. But yeah, man, a lot of different moves being made. Green Bay Packers went out and signed Aaron Banks, 4 years, $77 million at guard, and Nate Hobbs at corner. Decent corner, 4 year, $48 million. So everybody trying to improve themselves. And the Texans making quite a few moves here. It's not a sneaky good move. Kick returner in Braxton Berrios. Justin Watson away from the Chiefs, so they're getting weaker. And also traded for Christian Kirk. The Colts went out and signed Charvarius Ward, $20 million over 3 years, and then Cameron Bynum, a safety, I think from the Colts. The Colts signed him, sorry. Cameron Bynum, I think from the Jags. 4 years, $15 million per year. And then the Jags signed Jordan Lewis from the Cowboys. They were hoping to hold on to him. Brown for $10 million. And then Kansas City Chiefs, they held on to a lot of their people. Nick Bolton, Trey Smith, Hollywood Brown, he was there for the past year. And Jalen Moore, don't know if he's a starter. We'll see how that pans out. But yeah, the Raiders were super busy trading for Geno Smith, extending Max Crosby to, at the time, $35.5 million, the highest paid non-quarterback. But then he was usurped by Myles Garrett. Signed Jeremy Chin away from the Commanders for 2 years, $16 million. And then the Chargers went out and retained Elijah Molden. The Chargers, and then re-signed Khalil Mack, and then signed Dante Jackson. Just a depth signing / a guy that can compete on the low end. And then they signed a big move, Najee Harris, even bigger back than any of their slower plotting backs from last year to a 1 year, $9.25 million deal. And then Devontae Adams making some noise here, $23 million per year, signed to the Los Angeles Rams. So most likely, him and Puka Nacua are going to be teammates, team up, and then they're going to let go of Cooper Kupp. Putting forward a solid D tackle, signed for almost 10. He almost always gets the respect that he deserves, but then it's kind of Dolphins can't make a lot of moves. They're kind of strapped. Vikings, they're really trying to be a powerhouse. Re-sign Ryan Kelly, re-sign Byron Murphy, 3 years, $21 million per year, $22 million per year. Sorry, Isaiah Rodgers, they stole him from us. Re-signed Theo Jackson, so yeah, retained now. They brought him in, and they retained Aaron Jones, 2 years, $10 million per year. Milton Williams, he went to the Patriots, but so did Carlton Davis, $20 million per year over 3 years. Harold Landry, like $14.5 million per year. Robert Spillane, 3 years, $37 million, so almost like $12 million a year. Morgan Moses for $8 million. Mac Hollins signed over from the Bills, so they're still in from their conference mate, division mate. Sorry. New Orleans Saints traded for Devon Godchaux from the Patriots, and they didn't do too much else. But Giants retained Darius Slayton. Wow, 3 years, $36 million. He got paid. And they also signed Paulson Adebo from the Saints, $18 million per year over 3 years. And trying to make some depth, get some depth along that line. Jamie Sherwood, 3 years, $45 million, $15 million per year. And then the Jets signed Justin Fields to $20 million per year, so he gets some money. Then the big shift here, DK Metcalf leaving the Saints, the Seahawks, $30 million per year. That's a huge deal, man. That's their huge white whale. Luke Farrell, 3 years, $20.25. That might spell the end of Juice, who might, be looking to come to Philly. We'll see. Seahawks retained Ernest Jones, $11 million per year on a 3-year deal. Jaron Reed, pretty much $8 million per year. Then signed Sam Darnold to that huge contract, 3 years, $33 million. So that's big, man. In Tampa Bay, we signed Chris Godwin to $22 million per year. Brought on an O-lineman, a solid guy. Then signed Hassan Reddick, who we'll see next year, to a 1 year, $14 million deal. And in Tennessee, retained Sebastian Joseph Day, a solid D tackle. Then signed Cody Barton. I forget where he played, but here's our huge one in our NFC East compatriot. He was signed by trade. So was Laremy Tunsil, I think a 2nd round pick, and some flurry of other picks, I forget, but cost him a pretty penny. Bobby Wagner, 1 year, 9.5. You know, solid because he's still lost a step, but he's still pretty knowledgeable. Zach Ertz, older, but him also being knowledgeable, knows how to run those routes. And they signed Javon Kinlaw to 3 year, $45 million. I'm not so hot on that because I think he improved, but it's all about the people around him, and we'll see how that fares out. But man, free agency busy, so we'll get into it. I know some other moves that happen, but we'll get into that later. So anyways, we'll get up out of here because you're not even watching though, but it's all good because I love making these videos and I love talking about the freaking stinking Philadelphia Eagles as well as the rest of the league. So we're trying to do this officially, but as always, it's fly Eagles fly, and let's motherfucking go.
Like, comment, share, subscribe
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.